the dog days of summer. We're going to do a little bugging and maybe a little plugging to see if we can't figure this out today. We've got high blue skies coming. It's going to be hot, like 450 on your oven bake kind of hot. So we're going to have to pay attention to what the water temperature is, how the thermocline is set up in the lake, the whole 9 yards. Bugging and plugging.
Mark is back on Lake X today, but it's post-cold front with high bluebird skies. Not the ideal conditions for late summer or early fall bass. Mark does have a few tricks up his sleeve though. He's going to start off with a deeper running crankbait and look for active bass offshore and use forward-facing sonar to his advantage.
It is so hot today. Gonna try to get something started with a plug, see if we can get anything started with a plug. And then I'm gonna go to a jointed structure head, swing head type jig that kind of does the work of a football jig, that kind of does the work of a soft plastic, that kind of does the work of a Carolina rig presentation. So we're gonna see what we can do here. But it is hot. I just saw a big group of fish right out here on live scope, so I'm trying to find them. And there they are right there. I mean, there's a big wad of fish right there. It's right in the game right there where I saw them. There they are right there. See them right there? 25 feet in front of the boat. Here comes the plug right through there. See them move up off the bottom? That's where my plug's gone through. So they're in a real negative movement. You see my plug actually coming underneath them right now. So we're in a real negative mood today. And they're going back to the bottom. That's what's so cool about forward-facing sonar, live scope in particular. I can gauge. They don't want that plug. That plug's right there next to them. They don't want that plug around them. Now, those could be crappie. We have a bass will let that thing go through there like that. But you can gauge how active the fish are. You can gauge how aggressive they may be. I've already seen that they're not going to be real aggressive today. Every time that plug comes through there, they get off the bottom. Right. Interesting. What happens with the bug? The cool thing about the bug, it's not a jig, it's not a Texas rig, it's not a Carolina rig, so I can do a lot of things with it. The one thing I have to remember is when I get a bite on a jointed swing head, most of the time you got a extra wide gap hook on it. If I set the hook in an upward motion, that means that hook has to turn upward, then come this way. So you're going to see me today set the hook with a sweeping motion so that hook point is in hooking a higher hooking percentage every time I get a bite. So that's the way I'm going to fish this thing. It's kind of like a Carolina rig, kind of drag it. And the other way you'll see me fish it, I'm going to cast it, let it hit the bottom, and I'm just going to reel it like a plug. So it's just kind of bouncing along the bottom, causing disturbance. Yeah, I'm just reeling it along the bottom. That thing's just down there, moving along the bottom. And all of a sudden I may just hop it a little bit in case one's following it. Darn horse flies are buzzing like crazy. It's hot. Hot. There we go. Know what that was. Way out there. Just got mushy. See, it's just a pivoting weight out here in the front with an offset extra wide gap hook. I Texas rig it on there, and it's weedless as it can be. This is our structure head. We have a jig with this very same head on it, and it's amazing how it comes through cover. Rocks, whatnot, it comes through it. Surprisingly enough, this jointed structure head is really weedless. You can get it in a piece of cover. I'm going through some rock right now. you can get it in a piece of cover and it come through it pretty darn good. Not as good as a Texas rig, but pretty darn good. So don't be afraid of putting it in and around that cover. As long as that soft plastic is on there, as long as your bug is, you know, exposed and it's the cover, the point of that hook is covered up, you'll be fine. Ooh, little one there rattling the fire out of it. But it will come through cover really, really well.
The crankbait bite isn't happening on Lake X. A reaction bite doesn't seem to be in the works, so Mark is going to slow down. Instead of using a normal Texas rig, he's dragging a Strike King structure head paired with a rage bug. This presentation is slow but can be very effective.
He's whistling. Pull, dog, pull. Pull the bug. Hot. It's not really wanting too much. Well, I say that and he runs off again. Come here. Come here. Get you. Get over here. You're going to see the perfect hookup with this fish. Got him, got him, got him. Oh, don't that hurt. Look how this fish is hooked. Just perfectly right in the top of the snout. That's the way this thing hooks up on, because I set the hook sideways with a sweeping hook set instead of like a flipping stick hook set. That sweeping hook set got it right where we want it. It's a good one right there. All right. Just barely nipped it like a bluegill and then started swimming off with it. All right, the jointed structure head, this is it right here. It's a swinging hook on the back of a weighted head. So it does have the appearance of a jig. I like the structure bug because it's compact, it's flat, and it's got a lot of tentacles that make a lot of motion. So it does the same thing as a jig on the profile. It looks like a crayfish. So I've got my box of bugs out here, and I'm just gonna reach over here and get one that you can see well. This is a black with blue on it. So the first thing you do with your structure bug is peel your arms. They come from the mold, so they stay straight like that. Texas rig it just like you would with your extra wide gap hook on here. Come in about a quarter. Come out of the bait. Slide that bait all the way up to the head. Roll it over so that you can come through the bait. And what I always do is I come through the bait all the way out like that. See how I came through it? Pull my bait back up there, gather up a little plastic on the hook point. Now it's exposed and it is ready to get them. So my little crawly on the bottom with the structure bug represents that crayfish, and it's an easy bite for those fish to get. You know, I like bigger line for this technique because I'm always running it into rock or stumps or whatever. 15 to 20 is what I normally go with. This is 17 right here, dead in the middle of it. This is 17-pounder Braze X. And the key to this thing, it's almost like a crankbait, is when I'm winding, I'm in rock right now. So I'm winding and that head is hitting that rock going clank, 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 clank. Well, that bass, what is that noise? And then he goes over there, he sees it, he finds it, he eats it. That's the whole premise with this thing. And you can fish it a little faster than a soft plastic, than a Texas rig. That's what I like about the deal. That's what I like about it. We're out here off in deeper water. I'm throwing it up there and it's bottom bumping all the way back to the boat. Let's weeds, pop it through it. The other thing this thing does, that it's my seeing eye dog. I mean, I've got a little one rattling it right now. In the same effect of the Carolina rig, it tells me what that bottom's made of. It tells me, is it a hard bottom? Is it a soft bottom? Is it weeds? Is it rock? Is it muck? Is it sand? Whatever it is. And that's real important, particularly in the heat, to know what you're in. Bass won't be in that mucky bottom most of the time. If they are, they're going to be real high in the water column above the bottom. They're going to want clean areas, shell beds, rocky points, things like that, where they can be in that clean, have that good clean water around them in the heat. Right now it's the summer doldrums, and it's tough to get a bite, but you've got to be in those clean areas to get those bites. Like this, it's just so important to do something to kind of wake them up, either a bigger presentation like a big 10-inch worm, or something unorthodox in shallow water, like a big square bill, or just something. And this gives me an option in a little bit deeper water to do something a little bit different, move it a little faster. It makes a little more noise than a typical Texas rig does. Yet it gives it a smaller profile than a jig. And he got it the same way, right up there on top of the head. It is a different presentation. It sure works well. Come here. That's fatty right there. There we go. That's a nice one. Oh, look at his backside. Something got a hold of him when he was a baby, didn't it? It looks like a dinosaur. It's all right. We bugged him all right. That one is ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Big picture of that one right there. Huh. But the bug did it again. One, never, and it just started down, just almost like the jig kept falling. Nice fish. All right there, dinosaur, get out of here. Something bit you on the back, something bit you on the front that time.
If you fish long enough, eventually they'll tell you what they want. Mark's instincts have been correct. Slowing down and dragging the structure head and rage bug combo has been the ticket to put a few bass in the boat on this slow day.
Let's take a look at this head. It has the ability to move, which allows the bait to articulate from side to side as it's bouncing along the bottom. It gives it a lot of action. And then the structure head itself is really, really weedless. That's what's so cool about it. With the hook, you can see, got the extra wide gap hook on this one. I always take my soft plastic and expose it like that, so that hook point is ready to pop out at the moment's notice. But this thing is motion all the time, coming forward, side to side, up and down. It's got everything you need. The water's so hot and we have so much color in the water, I've opted to go with black and blue, just so it's a bolder silhouette, so they can see it a little better. That's all. Kind of a, and then you guys out there throw a black and blue jig when the water's colored. Same principle here. Break these little arms apart. Be sure to get the point of that hook covered up a little bit with some plastic. Scale. Oh, there we go. There's another. That feels like a really nice fish. Big head shakes. Big head shakes. You haven't seen him yet. He's got me doubled over. Yeah, that's a real old big long joker. Left a big old boy coming to the top right now. Here it comes. Oh, that's a good one. I mean, that's a good one. Oh, stay down, stay down, stay down, stay down, stay down, stay down. Goodness gracious. Is he on fire? Oh, come here. I can grab the line like that, but I got him. I got him. Oh, look here. Watch this, watch. Here we go. Never had him hooked. Just that old hook point had him pegged just good enough. Now that is a big old long one right there. How about that? Huh. Long hook set. That one thumped it pretty hard. He must have come down on top of it. I mean, that one busted it. Maybe another fish there. Get out of here, biggin. Thank you. Whew. One of the key components to this whole way of fishing is your reel and the gear ratio. This is a 7.5 to 1 lose reel. It takes up a lot of line. You can see when I hit those fish, I'm kind of behind them just because I'm making such long casts. I have to have that 7.5 to gear. I have to have that 7.5 to 1 gear ratio to take up that line, to get that good hook set, and then just to keep up with the fish when I have them coming to the boat. They are moving fast, moving really fast. So that last one, I barely got a hold of him. I mean, I didn't even penetrate the hook. Just the hook just held him. The hook point just held him in place. Any slack line and that one would have been gone.
Sometimes simple fishing is the best way to fish. It's not always the funnest or most glorious way to catch fish, but when you're a tournament angler who has to catch fish for a living, you do what you have to do to get the bites. Today has been no different for Mark. He's fished slow and methodical. Bites have came slow, but he has had a few quick flurries from lethargic bass.
That's a good one. Shaking that old big head. I mean, is he pulling? Look at that rod bend. I'm just kind of riding the ride here. God, that fish is pulling. That's a good one. I mean, that is a good one. Old structure. Gotcha. Another good one. How about that? And he's got it deep too. That is a good one. I mean, he got it and he whipped me. See you, big guy. Go. Go. The old structure head. It's been successful today. All right, let's get another one. That was a good fish right there. I mean, it was just, it's like he bit it because he had to. It's not like he wanted to. He just kind of, and there it was. There's another bite right there. There he is, there he is, there he is. That feels right. Yes, sir. Another good one. Another good one. With that old big one right there. I mean, it just, like I got some grass on it, all that bite was, and it just started swimming off, coming up right there by you. Oh, that's a good one. Let you do it. Wow. Is he hot or what? Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, yeah. There we go. That's another nice one right there. Another nice one. How about that? It just got mushy, like mushy. That's all it did. What a good one. That's typical of this summertime bite. They just barely get it. Just barely get it. Get out of here, big dog. Hung on my glove there. I mean, that almost fooled me. I just picked up on it and it kind of did that, and then it just started easing off. This thing is a great bait when you have that finicky bite. High pressure, high sun. It's such a finessey power presentation. It works well at all times. Let's get us another bug on here. Get it. Oh, look at that one. Oh, biggin. Oh, biggin on the bug. Oh, I mean, he's got it too. He's got it. Oh, come here. Come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. Doggone it. Open up your mouth, got you. That is a good one. How about that? Whew. Hot weather, big bass, a bug and a swing head. That's a way to get them. We'll see you next time on Mark Menendez Bass TV.
Mark Menendez Bass TV is brought to you by Skeeter Boats, Seaguar, Lose, Feel the Difference, Strike King Lure Company, Motor Guide, Never Stop. Closed captioning provided by Die Safe.